eternity, but it's up there in most enjoyable.
The draft has started. The countdown has set, and the boys. Usually we've seen a lot of instant lock-ins, instant bans at the moment, but this is the first one. It's actually almost down to the time is almost over, and it's about to go into their time pool. So the boys heavily thinking about their decision, hovering over Greymane, wanting to ban out a diver. So looking at someone in their composition that might be affected by a heavy dive character.
Yeah, they just don't want any of that because they're not going to plan to play him, so they don't want negative synergy to have him. And Kerrigan's the same thoughts as well. If they lock that in, same thoughts as well that you had Disco. They don't want someone that can dive in there and take out their priority assassins.
Well, especially in Dragonshire where you've got the shrines when they spawn, that does put heroes in a potentially bad situation, and a diver going in, blocking off an exit, you can kill a lot of heroes. Now the boys are looking at Greymane able to really engage heavily onto the characters and do that AoE and remove that, maybe hoping that they could get the Kerrigan, but negative synergy going, no combos around that, thank you very much. And Zagara and Falstad. And you know what, Brightwing, I would agree with negative synergy right now. Brightwing, especially in this grand final situation, yeah, definitely go with her. Lock in anything that they do try and bring that sort of dives or goes in, say an ETC. The Brightwing polymorph got a big counterplay in regards to that. And obviously they got the Falstad that can counter that as well.
I have to agree with you there. These are really strong picks. I really like the Zagara. I'm liking the Johanna. I'm liking Falstad, Brightwing. Falstad, global presence, as we've seen. Fly to each lane, soak it up, just call him. He can easily join the team. Zagara, the same. And Johanna just has so much... Sorry, Zagara is not so much global, but she provides the creep. And she can really lock down that Dragon Shrine once it's active. It's a pain when there's a creeped up Zagara laying down the bot and you're trying to wrestle away that shrine. She can be quite a nuisance in that regard. Li Ming also being selected by the boys here. I also quite like that. Li Ming, she goes from strength to strength. She's just a good all-around assassin. And I think as well, Dragonshire is probably one of her better maps as well. Because there's no interruption of the minions down near the shrine areas where you see a lot of teamfights breaking out.
It's less to say that you can poke over the wall and more to say that you can actually damage over the wall. Because you can't stop someone from capping a shrine without being in it. But you can just put all the damage onto it because there's nothing blocking the path.
And just force them off the point, exactly.
Now, totally I think here it's negative synergy. Thinking really hard about this ban at the moment. That you would think they'd go for a straight support ban, but they can remove Uther or Rhaegar. They can't really do both. And because they have Brightwing, they're probably not going to pick up another support. So the boys will get a strong healer in that sense. So having said that, they've removed Zeratul Benjamin. I think there's a little bit of respect ban there. Benjamin's been playing a great Zeratul all day to a devastating effect, and they've removed him from the lineup. And Tyrael for the boys. Again, they're looking at their condemned. They're looking at the Li Ming damage, maybe disintegration, something around that. Let's remove the Tyrael so we can't drop the sanctification. Right now, negative synergy need a big player. And they're thinking about KT. They've locked him in, and there's obviously the ETC follow-up pick. If you have KT and you can choose ETC, why not?
They have such great synergy together. They really do. And then they can also disengage or engage with Falstad. So we've been seeing a lot of that Mighty Gust Mosh Pit combo as well, aggressively to set up team fights. So do that, and then chuck KT's Phoenix in there, and oh my goodness, you do not want to be caught in that. Not at all. So now the boys as well, they're thinking who they want, so they just need a support, I guess.
Well, they need their support.
That's going to be priority to pick. Yeah, they're going to need... Who do you think, support-wise? Disco, what are your thoughts?
I'm still myself thinking between Uther and Uther and Rhaegar. Uther's been the shadow
As soon as you said that, you just hovered.
Now, the reason I say Uther is that when KT gets someone caught in the gravity lapse or the mosh pit goes off, Uther, outside of that, can Divine Shield his target, potentially Divine Shield himself as long as he's not CC'd, so he can prevent all that damage. Kelthus does a lot of damage, but it's not instant. It's not he presses the button and you instantly blow up. There's a slight delay, and that's where Uther can be a lot more powerful in that sense, as he denies all that damage. Rhaegar, however, can heal after the fact. Now, they have gone for Rhaegar. I feel Uther might have been a nicer choice in this situation because he can deny the damage from Kelthus. However,
I feel with Rhaegar today in the streams that we've been watching, I haven't felt Rhaegar's been doing his high impact plays. No one's really brought that out today, unfortunately, because they're focusing him too well. They know that with the change that they made, he can no longer drop Ancestral Spirit healing on himself. And if you basically prioritize him, he's just got the chain heal and that's it. So Rhaegar's been taken out of the fights quite early. We haven't seen those big value Ancestral heals coming out.
Oh, so I really like this, a new rack pick. I'm just trying to think of who the boys take. And again, it's another super comfort pick for potentially Robodoba. It absorbs the damage from Kelthus, but it does open negative synergy up to pick. Tychus is my only concern. He's in the shadow mode at the moment. Tychus, great pickup for the Anurek and Johanna. And I'm concerned the boys may not have enough damage because Anurek and Johanna both aren't high damage sort of warriors. None are really in that bruiser position. So Li Ming, it's really up to Li Ming and the sustained damage from Zagara to push out the damage. Whereas negative synergy, they have the Falstad to cancel out those big plays, any plays the boys make. A Brightwing to deny that sort of dive in from a Nubrak if he does burrow charge in, or an out of position Zagara or Li Ming. KT, a lot of damage. ETC, giant mosh pit that can be interrupted by Li Ming and Johanna, so the ETC is not so detrimental. But you know, that Tychus pick, it's a tough one. Nubrak was a good pick, but then Tychus is a follow-up. Like, he's on the board, you know he can take him. It's, it's a tough. It's going to be a tough. I think it might be a tough one for the boys.
If they don't have enough damage, then they just have to have sustain. I mean, they kind of have the sustain there, but Tychus, Kael'thas, Falstad, there's some good sustain and burst damage in there. So Tychus, Falstad bring potentially the sustain, depending on what build Falstad goes. He could go more of the wizard build, but in Kael'thas as well. There's a lot of damage on negative synergy so far in the draft. And like you said, it's just up to Li Ming and Zagara mostly to lay down the majority of the damage for the boys.
Yeah, it's it's very good drafting on both sides. I feel that negative synergy just has a bigger, like they've got their burst and auto attack in Tychus, and I don't feel the boys have 100% the right tool to follow up. Though Johanna is a beefy target. It's again, like, this is coming down to it. They both drafted really well. It comes down to skill. It comes down to which team makes the mistake first, which team rotates in the wrong direction, gets caught, invades the enemy's side and picks up their camp, or picks up a hero kill and their camps at the time. I really think we're going to be waiting to see who makes those mistakes.
Yeah, who puts a sort of Poe out of line, and then they're going to capitalize on each other's mistakes. But this one, as well, as you said, is a best of 5, so they've got plenty of breathing room to sort of learn and come back from it. Hang on, I'm just in the wrong area now. There we go. Thought I was playing for a moment there in the lobby. No, this is not what I signed up for. Looks like we're in the final stages of getting the draft lobby together as well. So hopefully the game will be underway shortly.
Yep.
We don't want to do Caster's Curse Disco, but if we had to do a sneak sort of guess, I'm thinking negative synergy might take out the first game just based on their draft. I'm just worried the boys might run out of damage and sort of steam in the team fights.
Yeah, it's my only trouble with the plays from the boys is that it's all reliant on Li Ming.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, I know we keep touching on it as well, but perhaps instead of a new bracket, there was more of a bruiser, so it could sort of double for the damage instead of just another pure sort of tank. Might have rounded them off better, but we'll just have to wait and see. We'll see how the game unfolds as we get in. And someone mentioned in the comments as well, Dragon Knight is the best bruiser you can have, so don't forget, Dragon Knight also does count as a bruiser, so that's a fair point.
That's something that definitely may play into effect. As long as they can win the Dragon Knight, that's the most important thing. As long as they can win
the Dragon Knight. Well, to win the shrines, win the dragon, win the game.
That's it.
Lots of win criteria.
100%. So it is a best of 3. The boys have already 1 point advantage, and we have Arcana playing as Zagara, Robodoba on Johan, Daspert on Rhaegar. We have a Ninja playing, obviously, as Li Ming. And then last but not least, we've got Benjamin 94 as Robodoba.
And then on the boys, we
Benjamin,
have...
Johanna as Robodoba and Benjamin as Anubrak.
We're getting all mishmashed. So on Negative Synergy, Lahal on Kael'thas, Demise on Tychus, Penta on ETC, Sashin on Falstad, and Luminum on Brightwing.
I was thinking, oh, Robodoba's not playing Anubrak. That's strange, as I went to say that.
It's all good. It's all good. As we talked about game fatigue, so player fatigue as well. Caster fatigue. It's real. It's real. You have too much fun, so you get carried away. So nothing too out of the ordinary, I guess, I can pick up on talents. But it's just early days, you know?
It's actually interesting. It's the Zagara actually taking the volatile acid for Banelings, increasing their range. Normally we'd see like the infest for the split push, or we'd see more of like the infested drop. That's interesting, but I mean it does allow her to play much safer. She can launch those from a fair distance, so it's different, but I don't think it's totally a. It does change her split laning capability.
Yeah, slight bit. Was expected to see infest, but yeah, I quite like that. I think she'll do well with it.
It does allow her to play safe. Alright, so the shrines have spawned. Oh, Brightwing! Wow, straight away, Brightwing already being picked off. The boys just trying to early secure the shrine fairly early. They still need to grab the top one, however, and that is a matchup between Anubrak and Tychus. So either team will need someone to rotate up to him to really support them. We do see their Falstad flown to the middle, not really sort of doing anything, just more to grab the experience than to provide any pressure. And you see, right now, each team's not really interested in picking up the shrines or holding at least one shrine. They're just trying to find those kills, find those picks, and sort of get to secure that lead now. Lahal could be in a little bit of trouble here. Does back away. He's blinded. Not going to be much. He's KT. Who cares? But no one from blue or the boys could really follow up into that.
So the boys, they're taking the top shrine as well, so they just traded shrine control essentially. Top and bottom, like you said, as long as they're holding one each, they can sort of stall until they pick up their heroic talent at level 10. So there's no real need to fight unless there's a good place. So Robodoba could be in a bit of trouble here. There's 3 members of the boys surrounding him, but as he's Johanna, he just iron skins, walks out, and he's alright.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too worried about Johanna at the moment. Not against the enemy lineup, at least this early in the game. You see that the boys frantically trying to pick up that bottom shrine, especially when they do have actually control of the top as well. Again, I don't feel they'll be able to rotate to it. Zagara will put on pressure, but Sashin's going to be there to really punch him off. But hey,
Sashin's a bit low though, and he had to back off, but Penta managed to come back. So it's, I mean, negative synergy. They're just sort of reacting as well. It's a bit of that sort of, you make this play, we're going to react, and vice versa. But like you said, it's a bit early to try and cap. I'd be very surprised if they did. It's not unheard of, but I'd be very surprised if they got a Dragonite this early.
Well, if they can, it's a great pickup for them. If they don't, it's not necessarily the 100% game plan. Like, right, throw all our resources at the Dragon Knight. Ooh, Sashin goes in, but is spotted by Robodoba. He does have to use his Iron Skin to get out of there. A lot of damage going on. Arcana's in a lot of trouble. Blown up by Brightwing and KT. That's what negative synergy we're really looking for right now. That's going to give them a huge advantage here because they can now capture the bottom shrine. They already have the top. Tychus should be able to bully Anubrak off of the top point, or at least hold it enough for Sashin to get there. And no one from the boys can be fast enough. But actually, they're lucky down the bottom lane, and no one really rotated to stop Datspurts. Picked up the bottom shrine. Aluminum could be in a little bit of trouble here. The Condemned comes off Robodoba. No one can follow up. Power slides from Penta, blocking him in his place. Rob is in a little bit of trouble now, but he should be fine. He's on Johanna. Both shrines now controlled by the boys, but there's no one there to pick him up, and Sashin just soaks experience in the mid lane.
They're quite even on experience. No one's put a toe out of step just yet at this sort of crucial point. We're going to see as the game sort of goes on. Ninja trying to go for a sneaky. Ninja secured the Dragon Knight. That was massive. So Sashin couldn't do anything to sort of bully him off, and the 2 members right there just sort of blocking any attempt from poor Sashin to get there.
Ooh, Ninja. I was wondering if he's going to possibly kick Demise, and he does. And he will should be able to get a kill from this. Fire Breath is up in the moment. Nice pick up there. Nice use of the Dragon Knight. We did talk earlier about that being used as a bruiser for one side of the team, but hey, it's Negative Synergy that's using him as the bruiser, not the boys at the moment.
Exactly, right. And, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see. They don't really have much of an answer. Lukenim just trying his best to just stop the stem of the Dragon Knight up there. Ninja's up top. They've done a split bottom and top. That's generally quite effective as, you know, if you send all the members up there, your bottom's exposed, as opposed to sort of pushing mid and top. So it's a good play there.
Yeah, and Falstad flew down to the bottom as well and actually got a kill on Rhaegar out of that. So that's actually, I think that was a really good value there. However, look at the experience. We actually see the boys actually have a lot more experience than Negative Synergy. They're actually going to hit level 10 first, and that's going to cause a lot of trouble because Negative Synergy could possibly be forced into a fight if the boys choose to. And your level 10 is fast approaching.
It is fast approaching. Looks like the boys are going to pick it up first. And, I mean, if they do and they catch out Negative Synergy, they're going to force that fight, as we keep saying. But it looks like Negative Synergy are not going to let themselves be put in that place. So, once again, all that reactivity. So now they know that the boys have level 10. We see their heroic talents being picked. Blessed Shield by Johanna, Devouring Maw, Locust Swarm, Ancestral Healing, and Li Ming's just pending on hers. And she takes Disintegrate. So nothing too out of the ordinary there. I think she was wondering if she needed the peel from Wave of Force or if she wanted to go full damage. Looks like she's just going to try snipe out anyone low, get those resets happening. Once again, we talked about she needs that damage from Disintegrate, so Wave of Force might have put her at a disadvantage.
Yeah, 100% agree there that taking the Force of Wave was going to be I feel would be a bad choice. And she's got, they've got Johanna, they've got a new rate, they should be fine with those mosh pits. Obviously Condemn and the Iron Skin doing great power. A lot of damage just going to lower hole there from Li Ming. Not enough to actually concern, but still damage nonetheless.
So, I mean, Negative Synergy have also picked up their ultimates and it's full AoE wombo combo. So, literally, we've got Phoenix, Draken, Laser Drill, Mosh Pit, Mighty Gust, Blink Heal. Nothing. This is what we expected from them. They're going for full skirmish, full AoE domination. So
one Mosh Pit and one KT later, and that's 2 or 3
and
heroes
the drill,
gone.
Too. That drill, just if you let it, oh my goodness, it can just rip away your HP without realizing. So the shrines are up. It looks like the boys ready and primed. They're already there. And Johanna, look at this positioning. Right on point there.
It's really forcing the Negative Synergy to have to rotate down to the middle lane and protect this. This could potentially buy them some time in a different lane, the Soak. But Anubarak and Falstad are actually fast approaching the mid through the same route, almost having a small chat with each other. Sashin and Benjamin, old teammates. Is that Li Ming got caught by the mole? Not going to be too good, not Li Ming, sorry. That would have been Brightwing.
Luminum's so lucky getting away on the tiniest bit of HP. The Blessed Shield went out, but no one could follow up because they all got Mighty Gusted away, but that's alright. The boys have picked up the Dragon Knight and are going to go straight through mid and try and pick up this fort.
It was sort of weird that Sashin didn't stay in the top lane and try and take the shrine, because he could potentially fly into the fight. The fight wasn't going too bad in the mid. They could poke poke the boys off quite easily. So I'm not sure behind that. Maybe they're going for more hero kills. It's still a pretty early Dragon Knight, so I doubt the value is going to be that high from it or that much. Especially when we do have basically KT sitting there that can put out a lot of damage.
Yeah, I think with Sashin there, he just didn't feel that confidence to fly up in the top lane by himself.
Yeah.
Especially knowing that Benja was there. I mean, Anubarak, yes, he's a warrior, but he can really, because of his sustain from the Carapace shield, he can really just sort of lay down the damage over time on Sashin. So I think he just didn't want to be there, didn't want to be in an awkward situation, just played it safe. So I think he just didn't have that confidence to make that play, Disco.
They're going to be captured. Ooh, Arcana could be in a lot of trouble here. Actually being pushed against the wall, living bombed, and basically all sorts of death. Robo does come down, wastes the Blessed Shield, unfortunately. We'll be able to get out with Iron Skin and Daspert sitting there ready to pounce from the bush, but just playing it more safe than anything else. See, Negative Synergy doing actually a really good job to sort of not come back into it, but stay in this game. They're still down 2 levels. And they're actually down 2 fortifications as well. But I don't feel they've done anything that can really lose them this game yet. They're still very much into it.
I would have to agree completely. And we're just seeing the Mercenary camp First siege camp being taken. Wonder if the boys want to try and pick them off at it. Penta, being the ward there, just making sure that no one's going to be caught out. Shrines should be coming up soon. And Benjamin, right there. Oh my goodness, Disco. Luminum just got smashed and Demise might go down, but Ninja gets to reset the takedown. The Ancestral Heal connects. She's fine. Penta now in a lot of trouble. Once again, Penta taken down. Oh my goodness. Did you see? Did you see? This is what each team was setting up towards. Just someone...
This is what I'm talking about. That one mistake from either team, and it's just negative synergy getting caught way out of position just then is going to cause the boys to be able to push in here. They could probably get a keep out of this if they're fast enough.
I think they'll try push for the keep, but it looks like they want to also
push for Assassin.
That was massive. So Blessed Shield did not get used in the last team fight because they had no need to. Benjamin had enough CC, and then they saw Sashin just sort of hovering around there, and then they just went for it. So you can't make a mistake, as you said. It's manic. But you know what's interesting? What happened just then to negative synergy could have happened to the boys. We saw they were both setting up in a similar fashion. We talked about how they've played with each other. They have similar tactics where they're hiding in a bush waiting for someone to step out of line. It just so happened, though, that it was negative synergy who ran into them and not vice versa.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just the traps were set, the bush was face checked, and that's just the event it turned out into. In fact, this could be almost a reoccurrence of what's going on. Both teams all in the bottom lane going down now. A lot of damage going out. Penner's in a lot of trouble. His mosh pit was cancelled. Not using any effect. He's going to get blinded. He's going to get hit by the Disintegration Ray, but no effect. They're just looking for one cooldown. One reset cooldown for Ninja, and it's game over for Lahal. Lahal's walking there. Actually, Ninja didn't rotate onto KT. More interested in trying to get the Brightwing kill, but just couldn't connect.
Okay, so if you're put in negative synergy's place, the level disparity is starting to creep up. It used to be 2, now it's 3 levels behind. So, okay, what do you do if you're put in their place?
We always talk about the level disparity, but the more important aspect behind it is the talent. The talent drop. They don't have their level 16 talents. So they need to try and sit back, and they need to soak their lanes. Not as a group almost. It's true, like soak the lanes, but all do it the same. And while they're doing that, rotating, soaking, cleaning the lanes, they need to deal with this Dragon Knight in a safe manner. So stay behind your walls, take it out. Once these walls fall, they need to back away. If they get caught, or if they overextend too deep, they are taken out. And any hero dying now is just cementing the lead even more for the boys.
Basically, exactly right. And we're seeing that Dragon Knight doing so much damage on the keep, pumping Demise out, because Demise is one of the key sort of heroes that can shred down the Dragon Knight as Tychus. So they're just playing quite smart. They're not overcommitting when they don't need to, but they're making sure that the Dragon Knight has enough support. As soon as I say that, the Benjamin connects the session quite deep. He takes a lot of return damage, but that's all right. He's still got a couple of seconds left of the Dragon Knight.
Bit of an unfortunate timing there, Session, moving barrel rolling out of the way as Benjamin charges. So the Dragon Knight's quite happy to go the extra distance.
And another thought as well, just falling to the top, and they've got a little bit of that Bruiser Camp left as well that negative synergy need to deal with. But I mean, would you try and force a fight if you were negative synergy? If you do
not at all. I would not try and force a fight, not right now. I mean, those keeps, there was no way they could protect that keep. The keep was going to fall. And what they did was, they just sort of sat back and they tried to poke the enemy heroes that came in. They looked for the boys to make the next mistake. I mean, let's face it, negative synergy's way back into this game is to punish whatever the boys' next mistake is. Ninja right now could be a mistake if they knew he was there.
Oof, that was a lot of damage taken in that bush by Ninja. He used it, saying she because he's playing Li Ming, but he used it to scout out that bush. As we know, the orb can give you vision. Unfortunately, members of negative synergy getting quite low there, but it's alright. Luminum's topping them back up, and they're ready to fight again if need be. But as you said, I think their best bet is to just stay cool and hopefully just capitalize if the boys get too eager to sort of finish the game.
They got the right thing at the moment. They've got Falstad in the top lane. He's cleaning up. He's soaking experience. He can come to the fight pretty fast. So they've got a good play in that regards. And the rest of them are staying together, sticking together. The danger point for negative synergy is when the next shrine spawn is how they're going to do that. I think the only thing they can do, speaking of shrines, the only thing they can do here is they've got to stick together as a group. Sashin's really deep. This could be actually detrimental. I know he's trying to make a big play to get a kill, but he only connected with Johanna, and now Negative Synergy are being punished. That Maul collecting 2 heroes. We see Brightwing fall behind that. Demise is on such low health. He's got the only person protecting him is KT, and he's actually had to sacrifice KT to save himself, and that might not even be enough as Ninja teleports in and tries to disintegrate Ray. And it just doesn't connect. But that's it. The boys can finish the game from here easily. GG's obviously going out, and there's not much Demise can do on that. So it was a big play by Sashin, but that's the mistakes I was talking about. The boys were waiting for something like that. They capitalized on it. They got the kill on Falstad. Brightwing tried to go in to sort of back him up to do something, got killed as well, and then it was just a wreck train of destruction as they ran from the engagement.
Exactly right. I think a little bit of the shrine spawning as well kind of threw them off. They suddenly felt that urgency. Oh no, if they get this final Dragon Knight, that's it. But then they should have just chilled a little bit, as you said, not got caught out even before the shrines had activated. So it was quite unfortunate to see by Negative Synergy. But it's not the worst thing. There are a couple more games to come. They can easily pick themselves up and go for it further. And, I mean, interesting to see. Ninja on Li Ming, he felt so confident. He actually picked up, I wanted to mention in the game, he picked up the glass cannon talent. And basically, so he gets an ability power boost, sure, but it means that he decreases his already low health pool by 15%. So he had so much faith in his team keeping him safe that he could pick up that talent to essentially deal even more damage. So well done, I guess, by Ninja in having that much faith in the team so he could do so.
Well, it was just they were in a very significant lead. They could do that safely and have no remorse. Like, nothing can come back to them at that level advantage as long as they didn't make mistakes and get caught out. Right at the end there, Ninja did try and flank the other team, and that potentially could have been Negative Synergy's way to get back into the game. However, they didn't know he was there.
It was very, very risky is all I wanted to say. Very, very risky. So it was good that you pointed that out. I was like, this could almost go bad, but it didn't. So, I mean, does that just go down to the boys having so much faith and being confident in their plays as opposed to, it looked like Negative Synergy might have been second-guessing a couple of shot calls in that game? Because you picked up Sashin when you said, how come he didn't fly off to the top shrine? And it looked like there might have been a little bit of second-guessing going on.
It's just trying to make those calls at the time. It's always a tricky job for the teams, and I just feel it was probably the wrong call, and they're just gonna live with it and go away. This is a best of 5, so they do have a couple of other opportunities to get back into the game. So they are not out. They are not out yet. They're just gonna learn from these mistakes and move on. So we do have the boys now in a 2-point lead. It is a best of 5. The boys only need to win one more round to secure their place in Sydney next month. But
a map of choice, Disco, Infernal Shrines.
That's it. Now it's a map of choice. Map of choice for Negative Synergy. Remember that. This is the map that they're confident on. Now the draft has gone live. See what they pick. And I think we're going to see pretty straightforward bans from the boys. They've been sort of banning out either the divers or the Tyrael. Tyrael's already been locked in. First off ban. Follow-up ban from the other guys. From Negative Synergy, we might see a bit of a lane clear out. They might ban out the Falstad if they think the boys might pick it up as opposed to them.
I think we might see a Falstad ban, but I don't know. They seemed confident letting him through in the previous match. It's just really going to be whether they want to keep him for themselves or what they're going to do with him, essentially. That's what they're probably just strategizing on now. So do we keep him, do we want him, or do we just want to ban him out?
That's it. And they just get him out. Get him out of there. Now they're
being careful, with their time pool. They're dipping into it a bit, Disco.
Well, that's it. They're not. Oh, there we go. There is the Zagara ban. So we've seen that a lot today. Zagara always having generally having a big impact on the games, and they thought, let's just get rid of her for Infernal Shrines. because while everyone's capturing the shrines, they can go somewhere else. Zagara can split push. Now, Kerrigan is great on this map, great as a general hero hero for fighting, as well as a hero that just gets a lot of combo damage off during the objective, which you can harvest all those skulls. Li Ming Greymane instantly being picked up by our negative synergy, looking for those big powerhouse characters. Li Ming sometimes doesn't have much value on this, doesn't have a lot of value on this map for the objective sake, as the minions can get in the way. But outside of that, she's still a powerhouse of damage. And so she's generally is a good choice, but that's a potential downside to her on this map. The boys grab their Falstad. Both teams are comfortable with the Falstad picks, allows them to do so much, and we see the boys picking Falstad up this time with a great disengage with the Mighty Gust. And from what I've seen so far with Greymane and Li Ming, probably going to see more mage Falstad with the boomerang as opposed to auto attack and secret weapon. Seasoned marksman. And Uther, he's a pretty good support all round.
He's damn good, and we've sort of had a new respect for him. Johanna as well, once again being picked up. So we're starting to see a little bit of a common roster of champions, I guess, that's been used in the pool today. So Johanna, Greymane, Li Ming, all familiar faces. Kerrigan sort of picked up if she's not banned out. She seems to have been quite perma-banned for obvious reasons.
Native Synergy should pick up. I mean, they can wait and pick up Brightwing last, but I feel that they need the Brightwing pick to deal with the Kerrigan diving in.
I think Brightwing would be very smart. Just instantly polymorph, get her out of there, make sure that she just can't rip through, because that's why the Kerrigan ban's been going out. She's just too good. Once she lands that combo, it's sort of taking out your squishies. There's nothing you can do to stop it.
Oh, the Uther's going to be a bit of a tricky one there, because the Uther's Divine Shield can keep Kerrigan up. I think Negative Synergy still need to play to the Brightwing, but they don't necessarily have to pick her up now, because the boys have already grabbed their Uther pick.
They've got time now, and they pick up Sylvanas. Sylvanas is quite strong in Infernal Shrines, not only at just clearing out the little skeletons that spawn to secure the shrine, but as well as just the Wailing Arrow can do so much to sort of lock out that area when you're all combining and sort of fighting for that objective. So I quite like the Sylvanas pick on this map. I think she really excels. Her and Zul and Zagara, they really excel on Infernal Shrines. And we're seeing the boys here. Now they're sort of pondering on their last two. I mean, what do they need to sort of fill it out to finish off their team?
They still need a tank. And, a Mirrodin here possibly wouldn't go to Australia. There's a Mirrodin pick for a big stuns. And then last but not least, they could go for their own split laner. Zul might be on the table. But
I'd like to see Azul come out. I think Mirrodin he has great synergy with the rest of the team. And I think Azul too.
I'm actually wondering if they don't pick up Tychus and prevent negative synergy from getting him.
And then there's no answer to the Mirrodin. I mean, they possibly could. Oh, but they're hovering over a Tacita right now.
No.
And they go with the Tacita.
Another good answer.
So they pick up the double support, keeping Uther safe, keeping Kerrigan even safer and Falstad even safer. Mirrodin's going to be quite tough to take down now. He's got Avatar, he's got Uther's healing, he's got Tacita's shields. Kerrigan, I mean, wow, negative synergy is going to be hard-pressed to sort of pick up kills, I think. You might see a lot of small health getaways. And there's that Brightwing right there, Disco, you called it. And there he is, the last pick, Brightwing for negative synergy.
I think the Brightwing was just a necessary pick, just against that Kerrigan. I mean, you got to look at what options can you use against her. When she does dive in, how are you going to stop it? Brightwing is a great option with the polymorph. In fact, you can punish her by taking the extra damage on the polymorph. So when Kerrigan dives in, you can blow her up. So you're almost playing against the ability there.
Playing against it. I like it. That's a very nice way of putting it. And, I mean, if I'm looking, though, I quite like the boys' composition a little bit more. I'm not saying that negative synergy isn't without its charms. It's just that would be the comp that I would go for if I was drafting for this. But I really like that Sylvanas pick. I really like Brightwing, Johanna. They all make sense, these picks. Except, as you said, maybe Li Ming, bit of a controversial pick. Skimmy and Starvey did sort of touched on earlier that she's not the worst on this map. She can still do just fine. It's just the fact that the Infernal Shrines have so many smaller minions down in the shrine area where she needs to fight. Often it can just absorb a giant orb that was about to collide with the rest of the team, and that's a big chunk of her damage sort of being taken out, and then she has to wait on cooldown. So that's why Li Ming can be hit and miss on this map.
Yeah, she's not. It's nitpicking, to be honest. At the end of the day, it's a nitpicking thing. I mean, they've got Johanna, they've got Savas, they've got Greymane, even Brightwing. They've got the tools they need to pick up those those minions. Li Ming can focus on just damaging the enemy team, and that might be the big play there, or the big move. Is if we can just punish them by pushing them out, doing a lot of damage to Falstad, to Kerrigan, or even Muradin before they go in. Maybe that would be good enough to prevent any big follow-ups. So, but I again looking at the lineup, it comes down to whoever's going to make the first mistake. This is how these two teams play against each other. They're very evenly matched, but whoever makes a mistake will be punished. Normally, negative synergy will either make the mistake by, let's say, getting too aggressive or overextending or something in that regard. And it's just once. They don't have to do it many times. Just the first mistake will steamroll or will snowball the rest of the game against whoever makes it.
And I mean, we were worried last game that the boys wouldn't have enough damage, but it turned out to be far from the case. Once Li Ming got her resets, there was just no short supply of damage there. So it's just interesting. Things that we think might be a weakness, not at all for the boys.
They just know how to play their hero as well. I mean, both sides do. It's just that one small thing.
One small thing means so much in the grand scheme of the game, and it comes down to the little things. Yes, that first death, didn't matter, but you're losing a little bit of that XP gain. It's the snowball effect, and it all starts stacking up.
Yeah, 100%. But here we are with what could be the last game of the evening. The boys, 2-point advantage. They only need one more to take out this best of 5 and go to Sydney. Or can Negative Synergy do a reverse sweep and come back and claim their right to go to the ANZ Championships? But anyway, we have the boys on the blue side of the map. We have Arcana on Tassadar, Benjamin 94 playing Kerrigan, Robodoba is on Muradin, Daspert is Uther, and Ninja is on Falstad.
And then on the red team tonight, we've got Luminum on Brightwing, Sashin playing Greymane, Demise on Li Ming, Lahala Sylvanas, and last but not least, Penta on Johanna.
Alright, and to open up the proceedings, we see Negative Synergy already trying to do there's actually a little bit of a trade going on. The only downside for the boys is that they don't have Sylvanas. So technically the Negative Synergy can push a lot harder. Now,
the trade goes in favour of Negative Synergy, definitely.
Well, it's a faster trade. However, the boys were fast enough that they did get it, and with the rotation of Tassadar, and let's say the fear of maybe the boys attacking them has pushed them back so they couldn't get a further advantage. So I actually really like how that played out. If either team were the race, Sylvanas would win. But, Negative Synergy, maybe we were a little bit scared. Like, gee, do we push it? And then something terrible happened to us?
Yeah. They sort of just didn't want to go any further. They didn't want to try the keep and get awkwardly caught out. And oh my goodness, Benjamin laying down the stun. And the first hero to fall, unfortunately, Sylvanas. Benjamin might counterfall, but he uses the Ravage to get away. But Sashin's still trying to get him down. He's very, very low. Will he get out? Polymorph and Ninja. Oh my goodness, Disco. What's going to happen to Daspers now? Now Dasper's in a lot of trouble, but he gets the heal off. Robodoba. Oh my goodness. No one fell.
That is a really nice engage, and something should be said to Benjamin there taking, siphoning impact, allowing his Ravage to heal himself when he uses it, is a nice little trick he used to survive that encounter. Not only could he get out because he could Ravage, but then it also allows him to heal himself. So very nice use of talents just then. It's a standard way to play Kerrigan, Queen of Blades. But we have seen that actually fight breaking out there. Daspers could be in trouble. Can he survive again? He does heal himself. Robodoba does rotate the body block, but now could be Robodoba himself's in trouble. Polymorph, but no follow-up. No, I just say we do sometimes see we do see the blades being taken up at level 1 to increase the amount of damage on one part of her combo, which means she gets a stronger shield when using it. However, I like the Ravage, the siphoning impact being taken for Ravage instead.
I do too. And I mean, so the rest of the builds that team have gone, we've got Uther going sort of the wave of light sort of build. So he's just going to throw out the heals, get those burst heals going. We've got the Falstad sort of going that mage sort of build, building up the hammering stacks and then just making sure that it just scales really well into the game.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, the first Punisher, it's not too much of a concern. It would be nice for them to secure, but they're both kind of even. Looks like the boys could be caught out here, though, Disco.
No, I don't know. I think the boys are going to do pretty well at the moment. Benjamin could be in a little bit of trouble, but he does have Dash, but seeing they're healing him. See, he jumps back in, trying to get a lot of damage on Brightwing, returns around, goes on the Penta, not being able to quite connect to fully on Brightwing, and just bullies them out. So many people are damaged now on negative synergy that there's no way they can turn back into this. And, so that's
low mana bars as well. Out of health, out of mana. And even though I'm saying, oh no, it looks like he's getting caught out here, this is, I guess, why they've picked the double support. They're keeping Benjamin so safe. The shields, the heals. And in fact, his talent as well, siphoning impact. He even has a small mini heal. Like, there's so much keeping this Kerrigan alive.
Yeah, that's it. And, they're going to get lots of value out of that. And they haven't lost out on damage by doing that. Tassadar's a great solo laner. Falstad's still on the table. He's going more the boomerang, going the boomerang build, I assume. So they've still got all that damage. Tassadar's, obviously, with his own ability to Psychic Storm, is a lot of damage as well. So they haven't lost anything with this composition. And that's the great thing about how they've drafted it, is they've lost nothing, but gained everything.
Would have to agree there. And Demise as well. I mean, Demise was sort of sectioning out Ninja quite well in that last team fight, but it wasn't enough because then they're losing a lot of that damage from Demise where they needed that on Benjamin to help take him down. It's just that delicate balance, you go for one champion that you think's a priority, but then there's another fight sort of going on. So it's just, where can you make the most impact?
That's it, and both teams are trying to win this so they can make the biggest impact in Sydney for the LAN Championship. Is what each team wants to do right now. But Falstad Ninja might be in a little bit of trouble there. He can barrel roll out of it, but is he close enough? He does miss. The Condemned does miss him, so he will fight another day. Behind this, we just see the red team. They can rotate down and grab the bottom mercenaries. Behind this, Li Ming's in the top lane, so they're pressuring Dasperts. Not going to go too far, but it may drain his mana a little bit and concern him for the next shrines. Make him back out. However, look at this. Kerrigan and Arcana, Tassadar and Benjamin could go on the top line and get a little bit of work here. However, Kerrigan is more interested in rotating down to the bottom lane to get a juicy kill. Looks like going in could ravage onto Penta. But, does go on Penta as well as the rest of their team does back out. But, hey, it's Johanna, so it's probably not going to do anything.
Same thing I had last time. I'm like, oh no, it looks like she's surrounded. Nope, she just pops the iron skin and walks away. That's the beauty of Johanna. Yeah,
unless she's body blocked in, there's really not much you can do to prevent her from escaping. Unless she's caught. Basically caught without... If all her abilities are on cooldown, if you capture Johanna, she can die. Outside of that, there's not really that much. Now, the Shrine did get spawned in the top lane behind this, and it is a Frost Punisher. Now, it's not the best, they say, for destroying the structures, but it definitely is good for killing heroes. So it is a high... skirmishes. Yeah, so it is a high... it is a model you want to win. You want to win them all, but this is one you particularly want to win because of those plays.
Exactly right. And we can see Benjamin doing so much work on... Because Ravage has a reset, he can just sort of go in on the low ones, just jump from one to the other, pick them up, and then it's just sort of adding up as well. But there's another fight border. Yeah. Oh my god, it looks like Sylvanas is Lahal's in a lot of trouble. She's trying to get out, but unfortunately she pops before she can use the Wailing Spirits to get away. And Robodoba now has to back out. Arcana as well, getting hit by an orb. Yeah, looks like the boys, they're not in too much strife. They're just backing out. Basically, Robodoba just wants to top up, make sure that he doesn't die, because if you die, it's massive. You give Li Ming resets. So they're just playing it cautious. They're leaving the ones with high health to just stay, guard the fort, but they're making sure that if you're low, you get the hell out of there, because Li Ming's going to get her resets.
The boys are just concerned about Lahal, and they don't want Lahal doing his Lahal things. So they're just going in there, picking off the target, and then getting out. And that's all they need to do. They're balancing the fight in their favour, or unbalancing it, I should say. Now, this is really, really bad for negative synergy. Level 10's been picked up for the boys. They've just got a Punisher off this as well. This can be a huge push. They break through that wall. They fall up with the Punisher when it dives or a Frost gets effective on anyone. Just like now. They weren't... The timing, unfortunately, was a little bit off. but they could have a big play here. Like I said, they got level 10 heroics.
Exactly right. And then we're seeing that Frost Punisher, or John Cena Punisher, doing so much damage. He just lays down. They call Punishers for a reason. I really like the way Blizzard has named him because it stays true to their name. And nothing too out of line being taken for heroes. We see Maelstrom, Avatar, Divine Shield, Force Wall, and Mighty Gust, for those curious. Nothing too out of the norm. We see now Negative Synergy have picked theirs up as well. We've got Blink Heal, Go for the Throat, Wave of Force, Wailing Arrow, and Blessed Shield. Just to round it up. I think there's nothing too far out of the norm. Like, Lahal didn't take possession or anything, so we don't need to touch on it too much.
No one's building their hero to anything different. I mean, specifics for maps would be Ravage on Kerrigan, and in the way Brightwing is doing a kill build, a Dream Shot, and Arcane Barrage, again, for the objective. So the teams are playing to their way on the map. Even Daspirits by building his Wave of Light as well. Plus, its own big heals will help with Kerrigan as well, keep her alive.
Yeah, he's making sure that he can chuck out that Holy Radiance and hit many members of the team. I can't remember what Skimmy and Starving called it, but I quite liked it. I think it was like Holy... I don't know. It was quite catchy. I'll ask him for it next time because I quite liked it. I think it was like Healadin or something. Something catchy. And now, I mean... So we've got a camp that needs to be dealt with, the Bruiser camp up top. They've sent Arcana. This is sort of where Negative Synergy might want to try and pick a fight. So they're taking on the Siege camp on the boys'
This could actually be a bit dangerous here. Falstad's coming behind. Can he Mighty Gust? They do get one in. They push him to the corner. Maelstrom's been used by us. Kerrigan's looking at the Divine Shield. Demise in a lot of trouble. Just holding on in there. But is it going to be enough? Falstad actually falls. They finally get Li Ming. Li Ming taken out as well. And then we just back out. In fact, Kerrigan will fall as well. But Sashin traded his life for that.
Oh, did you see that? Benjamin, his final. He put down the impaling spikes and was like, if I'm going down, you're coming down with me. It was crazy to see. And then Sashin had to cop the last couple of blasts from the fortification and fell. Crazy to see. But yeah, it was very, I guess, ballsy of Negative Synergy. I understand what they were doing, but Tassadar isn't a damage dealer. At best, he just sort of helps keep them alive. There's already enough...
Yeah, I was just about to say, they were a little bit late to it. Had they rotated there just a little bit earlier, they could have been in a better position. But they were all over the place, and they just unfortunately didn't capitalize on it. The boys couldn't capitalize on it. Li Ming escaped, and they chased her, and they got the kill. But because she was able to escape, their damage was spread real thin. And the fight was spread real thin. That's what happened there, and that's why it didn't go quite in their favour. I mean, it was 2 for 2, and they're still in the lead, so they're still in the winning position. But it didn't work for them as well as they hoped it would have.
No, exactly right. It just sort of turned on its head.
But this fight here breaking out, Sashin is on low health. Lahal has to back out as well. Actually, everyone on Negative Synergy does, leaving the boys to just collect as many skulls as they want. They're on 32, 33 now, and we see the Negative Synergy finally get back into it. Penta goes on. Dude, Benjamin has to ravage out onto a minion to escape. They are chasing up him. The combo goes out, locks down Greymane. Sashin's in a lot of trouble. They're trying to get the kill onto Benjamin. They can't. Divine Shield comes out, and they actually end up taking out Greymane. That's a lot of damage gone. Lahal has to back out. Falstad actually dies later on somewhere else in the lane. Penta's in a lot of trouble here. Gets comboed by Benjamin. Probably was going to die without the combo anyway. But that's 2 taken out. Negative Synergy. 2 deaths. Punisher picked up for the boys. The boys can push again, and it's the Arcane Punisher, the Structure Destructor one. Structure Destroyer.
Structure Destroyer, indeed. That's the one you want to help you on your push. With Benjamin, I mean, he wasn't too worried. He just ran towards Arcane and was like, just shield me, we'll turn the fight. And because it wasn't the right members of Negative Synergy that caught him. It was Greymane and Johanna. He needed Greymane, Johanna, and perhaps Li Ming to take out Benjamin effectively. Otherwise, he could just sort of sustain and stay in there long enough. And then, as we saw, he counter-popped the Maelstrom and did his thing, essentially. Just Kerrigan things, we'll call them.
We have Lahal things. We can now have Benjamin things.
Just Benjamin things.
Alright, so Robodo taking a little bit of punishment, but nothing to be too concerned about. Looks like they are poising for another fight here. The numbers are kind of in our negative synergy's advantage. But very quickly, Falstad's rotating down. Ninja's in the back line. Mighty Gust is used, putting a little bit of pressure off of Benjamin. It's way Ninja can just punish the back line. Lahal taking a lot of damage. If the Psychic Storm comes out, Lahal's still alive. However, they can fall up onto Sashin. Sashin runs for his life. We do see Brightwing have to fall instead. Sashin tried to go back in, but it was not good. And Robodova jumps on, gets 2 kills, or supports in the 2 kills. And now it's Penta madly running for his life as the last member alive for negative synergy. And the boys are just proving that they are the dominating force in the ANZ region. And they will get a kill on the Johanna. The unkillable has been destroyed, has been killed. And they can push a keep from this. Not quite in a winning drive just yet. But Vandy, they are level 17. They have just picked up a keep. And they are all alive. And we only have 2 members on the side for negative synergy at the moment who are outside their altar.
They're a Talon ahead. They now have a keep down, so they're in a very good position. They're also going to take the siege camp on negative synergy side, put even more pressure, then probably go secure their own as well. It was just well executed. Not much, I guess, negative synergy could react with, I guess,
that
when
is right.
I was watching the fight.
Negative synergy was well executed just then.
Oh my goodness. But, I mean, what I think they saw, negative synergy, just going through what was in their mind, they saw 4 people down in the bottom lane. Fair enough, but, I mean, if you look at the numbers, it's not quite true because Ninja and Falstad's global. You should always count that Falstad's with them, even if he's not with them in the lane. So we saw a Ninja, as soon as anything, he just sniffed a little bit of trouble, instantly flew down, barrel rolled in, Mighty Gust went out. That took, maybe like 1 to 2 seconds for me to just see him get down there, so I could see what negative synergy wanted to do.
Is that Ninja? No, the fortification is still alive in the top lane. Ninja came back out from that. In fact, the force wall goes down, trying to prevent any sort of escape from Sash, and he does make it out. Johanna's in a lot of trouble. Robodoa trying to slow down his escape so they can catch up. However, Arcana is being sort of like bullied here by Demise and Sash and the rest of the team. But he's just going to be able to back out there because he's on the task star. He'll be safe, no problems. But we see the negative synergy desperately trying to do something here. I think they're trying to force a little bit of a fight too much here. They might have been able to get the kill on Tassadar just then, but his phase is just too strong. Force walls out. There's the other fortification there. This could spell a little bit of disaster for negative synergy. They're putting everything on the line for this fight right now. Demise on such low health. We see Robodoba dive in. Benjamin's coming up. Kerrigan goes in. It could be the end of Li Ming. Targets have been changed. Divine Shield is put onto Benjamin to keep him alive. Luminan's in a little bit of trouble. Demise, Luminan, Johanna died somewhere in the background. But Benjamin is trying to go for the kill here. Sees Brightwing and takes her out. And that still continues. Desperate wants Demise's heads. Chasing after a heart but unable to get it. Looks to the Lahol. Lahol is killed again by Benjamin, by the Kerrigan, by the Queen of Blades. Or in this one, the Queen of Demons is in the succubus skin. And they are just, wow, negative synergy. They tried to force a fight that was not theirs to take, and they've been punished for it by the boys. And that has just been the story of this tournament, is that you can't make mistakes against the boys, because if you do, you will get punished.
They're
the boys will punish you like boys, like little boys.
You're having fun with these. I mean, I would like to say it was well played by Lahal. Did disable the fort when they got Mighty Gusted in, so it wasn't hammering down on them, but that was the least of their worries. But it was good to see. Constantly just reading the map. I think this could be it. They've got a Punisher wailing on them. They've got all 5 of them on the core. They're desperately going for it now. The Punisher denying them from trying to defend.
Not even the Punisher.
Look at all of their frost go out. Oh my goodness.
GG! Qualifier number 1. It looks like, does it look like, or is it going to the boys? Currently, that is 3 games. That is, they went into the series with a 1-point advantage. All they needed to do was win 2 games, and that's exactly what they did to come out on top of this best of 5 series.
Oh my goodness, if we look at the damage recap, Ninja, look at his siege and hero damage, topping the boards on both, and also his XP contribution. So just really trying to make sure that they had everything that they needed. There was push going on, there's hero slaying on, there's XP getting gained.
Yep.
Nuts to see, everywhere and doing everything at once. And then also, Lal, just laying down that siege damage, he tried his best with Sylvanas, but unfortunately just couldn't get that impact. Yes, he was getting Wailing Arrows off, but then the Kerrigan came in, and half the time the Wailing Arrow was right after Benjamin had already Maelstrom. So in that case, all you're really stopping is the combo just for a couple more seconds. So it wasn't the stall that they needed, and they just couldn't really just engage off that.
Once the boys got ahead, I mean, the negative synergy, they were just a little bit aggressive. And I think if looking at anything about the new negative synergy lineup is that's their number one, let's say, fault, is that they're not as safe as the old negative synergy. And that's what we see from the boys. They do those safe plays. They only go in when they think they can get kills, secure something. If there's no value in it, or if the value and risk is too high, they back out. The new negative synergy don't do that. They're a little bit more aggressive. And while it works against other teams in the region, against the boys, you will get punished over and over and over again. And that's why the boys will be going to Sydney to play in the championships, the LAN events.
How exciting. Well played, well deserved. An amazing day, oh my goodness.
It's been a great day. We've seen some amazing games, and we've seen the region. It's gone from having one strong team to having two strong teams. However, the boys still prove that they are the best. There is a second qualifier on next week, so that we have another round of games to see who comes out on top and who will go to the LAN event and challenge the boys. So if you think you can do better than anyone today, and you're from the ANZ region, guys, head over to the ESL website and join in and get a team, join up, and prove you should represent Australia and New Zealand at BlizzCon. Because this is the road to BlizzCon. This is the Australia-New Zealand team that will represent us at Worlds. At the biggest...
This is the proverbial dream. The proverbial dream.
The premier event. Anyway, guys, thanks very much for watching. Skimmy and Starving had to take off, so they couldn't hang around for the end. They send their love, their wishes, their hopes, and their dreams. Thank you very much yourself, Vandy, for casting with me today. As always, it is a pleasure.
Pleasure on my end as well. Thank you so much for your time today. We saw some great casting, great games. It's been a very enjoyable day. And thank you all the viewers for tuning in, sending your comments, and sharing it with your friends. As everyone sort of mentioned, without you, there wouldn't really be anything worth doing for the ANZ community, right? You guys make it all happen. Disco facilitates it, but if no one's watching, it's not going to happen.
Just... Yep. That's good.
Yep.